This is a warning for any of you out there that have ever been tempted to make an unconditional real estate offer. Over the years, I've seen some crazy stuff happen. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of unconditional offers coming across my desk where the people are getting declined for the mortgage from other lenders like banks or other mortgage brokers, that type of thing. So if you don't know what an unconditional offer is, I'm gonna explain all of that in this video today. Please wait until the end of the video to hear a couple of the horror stories that I've seen come across my desk over the last 60 days about unconditional real estate offers. So first of all, let's talk about what an unconditional offer is. An unconditional real estate offer is when you make an offer to the seller of a home unconditionally, meaning there is no financing condition, there is no condo document condition, and there is no inspection condition on the purchase. So basically, you are buying that property no matter what. The deal is going through. Normally, in an unconditional offer situation, you would put a large deposit down because the reason for an unconditional offer is to make your offer more appealing to the seller of a property. One of the things that people do is they make huge deposits when they are doing an unconditional offer. Other things that happen in an unconditional offer is you don't get an appraisal done and you don't get an inspection done on the property. You don't review condo documents or budgets, any of that stuff. So an unconditional offer is you walking into a property with full confidence that you can get your financing, that there's nothing wrong with the property, or that you're willing to take on any of that risk. There are some circumstances where an unconditional offer is very good and it can be very beneficial to you. So some of those circumstances and the reason why people make unconditional offers are, one, because they're in a seller's market and it's really, really aggressive out there. The prices are going over list price sometimes. There's a lot of competition. So they want to make their offer more appealing to the sellers of the home. If they really want the property, they'll make that offer unconditionally. Also, it can be a bully move to get a good deal on a property. So I know a lot of house flippers, they'll come in, they know that they have cash, so they don't need a financing condition. And they're used to seeing the types of property that have damage already on it, and they plan on remediating that anyway. So they'll go in and make unconditional offers and try to bully the sellers into giving them a better price. If you have two offers, one with conditions and one where you know it's sold, and the one where you know it's sold is, I don't know, 10 grand less or something like that, then you might be keen to accept this one. They usually often have a really quick possession date, so you may accept that offer because it's unconditionally, and that's why the bully buyers go and do that unconditional offer. Other circumstances is when there is pressure. So some real estate agents will pressure people into making unconditional offers. Some builders will also pressure people into making unconditional offers. What I find from my experience is that it's always like the people that sell one house a year or two houses a year, just doing very, very low volume, that encourage people to do unconditional offers because they're just trying to make a sale and they think that if they make this unconditional offer, then the sale will be theirs. Builders do the same thing. If they're only building a house or two a year and they don't have the marketing to get a lot of clients in, they may encourage people to make unconditional offers. This could turn out to be a disaster, as you'll hear at the end of this video, where I'm going to tell you a couple of horrors that have come across my desk. It's just so sad. So far, if you like the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow my channel right now to provide more real estate and mortgage information, as well as other finance information. So if you like that kind of stuff, subscribe to my channel. Now let's continue. What are the risks of an unconditional offer? Well, the number one risk is, and there's many of them, so just listen closely. You cannot secure financing and you lose your deposit. So if you make an offer and you don't have a good mortgage broker, and call me if you need one, but if you make an offer and you don't have a good mortgage broker that told you go ahead and make your offer unconditionally, then you could lose your entire deposit. And I know in a lot of situations where people make unconditional offers, the deposits are very large. So just really be careful for that. You get sued by the sellers. So if you can't close a transaction, the seller has the right to sue you. Obviously, if you can't secure financing, you'll definitely lose the home. Both realtors sue you for lost commission. If it's any property of value, there is going to be a significant amount of commission on the buy side and on the sell side. So you can have both real estate agents sue you for the commissions. So not only the homeowner, but the realtors as well. The appraisal comes in at a value much lower. Sometimes when you're buying a property and you're getting financing, the bank will require an appraisal. If they require an appraisal and the property comes in lower than what the value you thought it was or what you paid for it is, then you will have to pay the difference in down payment. So let's use an example. If you buy the property for $100,000, and I know you can't buy much for $100,000 nowadays, but if you bought it for $100,000 and the property value after an appraisal is only $70,000, then you have to pay that $30,000 difference. Now, can you imagine on a larger scale, on a $600,000 property or $1 million property, how big of a disaster that can actually be? The home has expensive deficiencies that you didn't know about. So this is where obviously an inspection is very important. But if you make an unconditional offer, there is no inspection. So you buy that property with all its deficiencies. If there's major deficiencies in the property, let's just say there's a major foundation issue that's going to cost $100,000 to repair, then that's your problem to deal with. If it's a condo and you do not get somebody to review the condo documents, the budget, the monthly minutes, there could be a few things that happen. Number one, a special assessment on the property. This is where owners of the property have to pay out a lump sum to the condo board in order to repair the property of some deficiencies. So that would show up in condo documents. So if you don't have subject to condo document review in your offer is unconditional, then you could be screwed over with a special assessment. The other thing that could happen is condo fees can go up significantly if there's deficiencies that the condo board can't pay for. So you would be responsible for that if you made an unconditional offer. Sometimes a lender will refuse to finance a property if there's red flags on the property. So I've seen this happen in lots of circumstances, mostly with condos, townhouses, apartment style condos, that type of thing. If it is red flagged by an insurer, then they can decline the deal because they're not interested in financing anything in that building. So if you have an unconditional offer on a property that you have not reviewed the condo documents and it's red flagged by the bank, then it could be an absolute disaster. So make sure you call a good mortgage broker that will help you work through these kind of issues. So that's another risk of making an unconditional offer. You're declined for your mortgage, obviously that's a big risk, and that goes hand in hand with most of the things that I'm saying. Or you lose your job while the property is being built, or you lose your job while the property is being financed. So if you lose your job, your income's gone. The bank is not going to approve anyone with no income. So that could be an absolute disaster for you. Another one is you co-sign for somebody that didn't make their payments. All of a sudden, your credit score drops significantly, and then the bank refuses to finance you. So that's another huge risk of making an unconditional offer. I'm going through these risks with you so that you understand everything about an unconditional offer, because I'm seeing it so much nowadays where people will go in and make unconditional offers and they're getting burned. They're getting screwed over. They're losing huge sums of money, like life-altering amounts of money. So make sure you know all the risks before you make an unconditional offer. And if you need advice, definitely call me because I'm happy to give it to you for free. So let's talk about how you can reduce your risk. The number one way of reducing your risk is talk to your mortgage broker or bank about you making an unconditional offer. Let them know that this is something that you want to do, and ask them if they reviewed all your documentation to make sure everything is in place so that you can go ahead and make an unconditional offer and get that financing 100%. If I were you, I would prefer to get it in writing so you have some legal recourse if anything were to happen. Always book a second showing. That's another way to alleviate this. And what you can do on the second showing is take an inspector in with you. So maybe pay an inspector to walk through the property with you, do a quick inspection looking for really, really expensive problems with the property. That will alleviate you running into issues in the future, major electrical problems or foundation cracks and mold. You can bring an inspector in and they have the humidity gun that will test if there is water coming in on the property. If there's water coming in, then you right away with the humidity test that there could potentially be an issue. And then you can decide if you want to put an offer with conditions or without conditions on the property. Have a really trustworthy realtor to guide you. So a really trustworthy realtor, you're definitely going to have to do your research on that. But most of the people that are higher performers are generally more trustworthy. That's definitely one thing to think about. You can ask a mortgage broker like myself, who has tons of experience working with real estate agents, if a real estate agent is good or not, if they do their due diligence. You want to get a real estate agent that has relationships, possibly relationships with the listing agent of the property, so that they can go back and forth and quiz each other on if the property has any issues or not that should be disclosed. You could ask the seller if they've ever had an inspection done on the property and ask for that inspection report. Some people are encouraged in sellers markets to get an inspection report done on the property. They pay for it themselves, but then it's there for you. And you can review that before you make your unconditional offer. Even an old inspection from a couple of years back is still going to give you a ton of good information. You can put a smaller deposit down that you're willing to risk. So an unconditional offer can be a little bit of a gamble. So if you're willing to gamble a little bit and put a smaller deposit down, you might want to do a $1,000 deposit to $5,000, whatever you're willing to risk. But you can definitely put a smaller deposit down and then take a little bit of a risk with an unconditional offer. I don't suggest it unless you speak to your mortgage broker and get advice from a real estate professional. Now let's talk about the horror stories that I told you about. So I've got two of them that I'm gonna go over with you today. The first one is really, really sad. Actually, they're both really, really sad. But the first one is this immigrant family moved to Canada about 3 years ago. They have their permanent residency and they work hard to save money to buy a home for them and their 3 children. So basically, they call the agent up. Agent starts taking them around, isn't telling them to go to talk to a mortgage broker or anything like that, but walks them into a builder. The builder and the real estate agent knew each other, so they were in cahoots. Now, basically what ended up happening is they were suggested by the builder and the real estate agent to put the biggest deposit that they can down. I'm sure the builder was going to pay the real estate agent from that deposit money right away. So the realtor really obviously wanted to get paid. The builder wanted to get this huge deposit and secure a deal. And they encouraged these people to make an unconditional offer without talking to a mortgage broker. So it was a disaster. Basically, they walked into their bank after and they thought they were good to go for financing, and the bank declined them. Then they went to a mortgage broker after looking online, and the mortgage broker declined them. Then I got a phone call, a frantic call. Is there anything you can do to help? Because people know that I'm the guy that saves deals from falling apart. So anyway, I get this phone call and I take an application from them. I can't get them approved. People have bad credit. They don't have secure jobs. A little bit of a mess. I mean, they're on the self-employed spectrum, so it's tough for me to get them approved. So I tell these guys, I said, there's nothing we can do about it. So I call the realtor, I call the builder. I'm trying to work with them to see if there's anything to do, any way we can get their money back. And the builder's like, no. The real estate agent stopped answering the phone call. So my next step is going to the real estate board so that I can try to help these people. The next one is another horror story. Same type of thing. People put a big deposit down, suggestion from the real estate agent, and they get declined. And they had a really quick possession. I'm lucky in this case The people had a big deposit and I was able to get them private financing, but they have a higher interest rate and they had to pay additional fees because of the private financing. So there's a lot of stories out there. These are ones that happened in the last 60 days that came across my desk. I see it happen all the time and I'm seeing it happen more often. If you are a real estate professional, please make sure your clients are totally pre-approved before making an unconditional offer. If we do our due diligence, it makes us look great to the rest of the industry and makes us look very professional. If you are a buyer, make sure you don't make an unconditional offer unless you talk to me or another capable mortgage professional. There's tons of us out there, but capable mortgage professional is the key word. Capable real estate agent, a builder with a good reputation. I've got to look for these things before you go and make these offers. If you like the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm out here trying to help people in real estate, financial matters, that type of thing, and mortgages. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your time.